welcome to Earthquake Park, our next stop in Anchorage. Now in 1964, on March 27th, which was Good Friday, and today's the 20th, so in 7 days it'll be the anniversary of the largest earthquake to ever hit North America. It was a almost create my own earthquake here. It was a 9.2 on the Richter scale. Did a lot of damage. This park is actually a community where a community used to be. The community just collapsed under the earthquake, and then they just left it as a park. So we're gonna go check it out. There's hiking trails throughout here. There's no real playground or anything like that around here, but it's more of a opportunity to see the terrain. I'm interested to see what it looks like after the earthquake, and an opportunity for taking something that was devastating and giving it back to the community in a way that they can enjoy it. So let's go check it out. Now along the waterfront there is an interpretive trail. It's called the Tony Knowles Trail. So we're going to go check it out and see what it has in store for us. But I'm suspecting it's going to tell us different topics about the terrain, about the earthquake, about the features, things like that. So I'm pretty excited to see it. When I lived in Alaska, I've been through a couple earthquakes. Nothing major, but it is pretty loud. And it can be a little scary when you're not expecting them, and nobody's expecting them, so we'll see. It's also interesting because we're 7 days away from the anniversary, and there's a lot of geological activity going on right now here, to the point where they're even expecting the possibility of a volcano eruption. So we'll see. So measuring 9.2, the earthquake was centered in an uninhabited area of Prince William Sound, about 80 miles east of Anchorage. That put it near Lake Whittier, where we were at today at Portage Glacier, if you've seen that video. Now the earthquake exploded with a force greater than the eruption of Mount St. Helens, and 100,000 square miles of the Earth's surface was vertically and horizontally displaced. 100,000 square miles. The Good Friday earthquake lasted for over 4 minutes, shaking, cracking, and demolishing much of the most highly developed and populous part of Alaska. Over here is a scripture, and it says, "And behold, the earth did quake, and the rocks rent." So it's Matthew 27:51, a description of the first Good Friday. The gruesome dance of the earthquake finally stopped, leaving much of downtown Anchorage in ruins. In 4 minutes of violent shaking, many buildings, roads, and waterfront structures were destroyed. On 4th Avenue, Anchorage's main street, commercial buildings and pavement dropped as much as 15 feet. Some multi-story structures were able to withstand the long duration of shaking, while others crumbled and crashed to the ground. The weekend following the earthquake was punctuated by 55 strong aftershocks. Some of them were over 5.0 on the Richter scale, which kept Anchorage's residents on edge. Despite massive property damage, only 9 people perished in Anchorage. The time of day, moderate winter temperatures, and lack of subsequent fires kept the loss of life very low. Now, this earthquake created a tsunami. Within an hour and 55 minutes, it had gone all the way out to Sitka and Kodiak. 2 hours and 40 minutes, the rings had hit the far end of the Aleutian Islands. 3.5 hours, it hit Seattle. And then in 4.5 hours, it hit Crescent City and San Francisco, where they reported 9-foot waves. And then in 6 hours, it had reached Honolulu. That's how fast the waves were going. Now in Sitka, they had received 16-foot waves, and Kodiak 30-foot waves. So it's just so powerful to get from Alaska to Honolulu in 6 hours. That's like flying there. That's insane. It's like 400 miles an hour. Now, a story out of Valdez. Valdez was nestled in the head of the Scenic Fjord in Prince William Sound, a thriving city of about 1,200 people. Valdez's economy was based off of fishing, shipping, and tourism. When the Good Friday earthquake struck at 5:36 p.m., the entire city began violently heaving, and huge fissures formed in the earth, spewing mud, water, and sewage 20 feet into the air. 28 people were on the dock watching the unloading of the SS Chena, a 400-foot Liberty ship. As the quake reached full force, it triggered a submarine landslide under the harbor area, which generated a 40-foot wave that instantly destroyed the harbor, the docks, the canneries, and all the people on the dock. The SS Chena bottomed out 3 times, rolling and pitching so violently that 3 seamen were killed. When the huge wave retreated, it threw the SS Chena out to sea, relatively undamaged. Now, successive tsunamis completed the destruction of Valdez. After the earthquake, the city decided to move to a seismically safer area rather than rebuild. Today, Valdez sits 4 miles northwest of its original site. Now, that picture, that shows you the topography change after the quake. So that quake, where we're standing at, is the edge of the Turnagain Heights slide. All right, that's the largest and most destructive landslide in Anchorage. So it took about 8,000-foot strip of bluff, about 1,200 feet wide, and cracked it, throwing homes 500 feet towards the coastline. So the topography is now what it is, but when you see the rocks down there at the bottom, those are the rocks from the leftover remains from 1964's quake. So they've got it all out there. I'm going to see if I can get down there. I don't know if I can do that here safely. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll live dangerously. So the slope that we're going down right now, it's just part of the terrain. Like if you look over here, it drops probably another 20 foot or so over here. It drops again over here and then raises and drops again. But if you can see, I don't know how you can tell, but probably about 15, 20 foot drop from up there to where I'm at right now. It's just crazy to think about how much all this terrain was able to shift in 4 minutes. I want to give you a little bit of terrain association. From that marker that I was out there reading the info about the earthquake to here, about 3/4 of a mile, maybe a little less. Now I want to terrain associate you a little bit. You see that right there, that cliff? Where I'm standing at used to be that high. We go further down, you got all this debris from the landslide. I know it's going to be hard to see. Hopefully you can see it better in the previous video, and I'll do another one here in this next shot. There is downtown Anchorage. The brown building with a dark brown roof, that is the Captain Cook Hotel. That's where we're staying at. That is on 4th Avenue. 4th Avenue was what they were talking about with the destruction, where some of the buildings and the road had recessed 15 feet. So just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at to there, straight line's probably about 3 miles, maybe 2.5, but it's a good distance what I'm trying to get at. So for it to be impacted there and then still reach out from here, from all this water, it created that tsunami that went all the way to Honolulu in 6 hours. That's just insane. I'm gonna flip it around so you can try and get an idea of the elevation differences here. We'll look back at that cliff that we were at, just pointing to, and then again downtown Anchorage. Look for the light brown building with the dark brown roof, and that will be right there at 4th Avenue. Not sure if you saw it or not, but out there you can still see hundreds of rocks still out into the ocean. It just blows my mind to think that over here in 1964 was a community of hundreds of homes that got broken down and swept 500 feet to the ocean. That 1,800 foot long, 1,200 foot wide section of earth just crumbled into what we have right here. Pretty insane. Well, that completes our time here at Earthquake Park. If you have any questions about Earthquake Park, don't hesitate to reach out. And then don't forget also to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helped me out. I would really appreciate it. Doing that small little click means a lot. So I appreciate you. Until next time, I'll see you next trip.